Welcome back to summer camp, my friend. Hi, it's Pat Sloan, and this is week 3 of summer camp. So what is our topic for week 3? What else do we do at summer camp? What is a big part? So I have some great memories of hikes, taking hikes at summer camp. So this is our block, and in repeat, there it looks. So fun, right? And they're nice big shapes to show off your fabric. So first let me show you the block. Done with Frankie. This is the fabric line I'm using. When we go to do the color picking part, I will tell you this is not my first choice. This is kind of where I evolved to, which is kind of fun. So I'll show you that process and how I did that. So first, a little story about summer camp, which I tell in here, we had a camp counselor who did turkey calls. I don't know why she did turkey calls, but she could do a turkey call, you know, like a gobble gobble sort of turkey call that is, you know, whatever you use that for. But I'm sure some of you know, and you can tell me down in the comments. But that's what she used for us to find camp again. So if we girls and guys were out, you know, the campers were out a little too far or a little too muddled in how to get back, she would turkey call. And basically we didn't ever get very far, but that did happen to me and my friends once, where we were a little too far, so we just kind of started yelling, which I think is what she told us to do, and then she would start her turkey call so we could hear her and come down. So I've always remembered that because it was so unique. I believe she was one of the ladies who helped coach the teams. We were a really tiny school, was associated with the Department of Defense school system. And so, you know, people did a lot of different jobs because the classes were, I mean, I had 33 people in my graduating class in high school. So even when I was younger, those schools were still smaller. You know, you might only had one grade of 5th grade. You know, there might have been just one class or 2 classes. So the people did a whole bunch of different jobs, you know, that were there. So I believe she was one of the counselors. I also have to show you something I thought about, which is not camping related, but it's hiking related. When we lived in Germany, we started doing Volksmarches, which is sort of a Sunday walk in the woods along paths. They were marked and you had a map or whatever. And I was pretty young. So often there was a beer garden at the end, which my parents enjoyed. But we got medals, you know, which I'm sure we paid for. But, you know, these medals, and I have a whole box of medals. And I thought to myself, where are those? And I found them. So here is one of my Volksmarch medals. Nice with my pink tissues. So I'm going to go through there. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to send them to my mom. I think I'll take them over and show my dad and his wife next time I go visit them. Let's take a look at fabric for hikes. I always check these out, these color combinations, fabric combinations, before I sew. And I'm not so sure about this one. So I have pinned up the pieces here. So I didn't cut the next ones because I thought, well, if I'm going to change my mind, I don't want to have cut them. These are the squares, and what I did was just take the square and fold it. And because these boards are, you know, the styrofoam, hold on, I could just stick a pin in there and I can audition it without cutting that square, you know, without sewing the square. I can get that visualization. Now on camera, this still gives me enough contrast, but when I see it in person, it's tending to blur. Now the thing is, it will tighten up again as I sew it, but do I want to change it now before I go any further, and what would I change it to? So let me look at 2 other fabrics, because I might just change it. There is a blue in here, and we did have blue in our first tent block. So I was thinking, what if I did blue like that, so that there was a definite, you know, high contrast here. And then the other thing is, because there's black in here, this is the same fabric, but it's in black and white. So I could try the black and white. So I'm thinking, I don't know, now that I see it on camera, it looks pretty good. The blue looks good too. Okay, I'm going to cut 2 blue squares and try it out. Here what I did, I went ahead and cut 2 blue squares, and then I just folded up the rest of the blue and stuck it over here. Now the blue is kind of nice because it definitely gives a much higher pop and contrast. So, I think I'm going to switch it to the blue, even though on camera this still looks pretty good on camera. So what would you do? You know what I did, but what would you do? Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear. Before I sew it, we want to look at directional on each of these fabrics. The hearts are directional so that they go up and down. Even though they're flipped, they go this way. So I don't want one block with a heart sideways. And then this blue is directional. So if I want to do them all different, I need to sort of have a plan rather than just having 3 one direction and 1 the other. I would want 2 and 2, but instead I want them all the same direction. Now on the flowers, like we did before with this particular print, if you're going to do sew and flip, you know, what portion of the fabric do you want? So here's one that I'm auditioning. So here I've got like a red flower, but if I flip it, I have this branch. It sort of looks like dogwoods. I think that's prettier there. And then another one that I was really looking at was here, because this direction I get the blue flower, but if I have it the other way, I don't have the blue flower. Then of course you can also sew them, you know, you also can sew it from this side. But then the blue flower is only like peeking out. So I think I want the direction where the blue flower is prominent so that I am pulling that blue from here. So anytime I can get this blue flower showing, it's not on that one, I will do it. One more thing, I want to show you the alphabet again, this light fabric. When you have the light fabric there, what do you notice? This darker red sort of pulls towards you. That's the more emphasis of the block. And when I remove them, now what do you notice? This sort of unit with the blue is more emphasis for the block. And I think when you do it in repeat, having the higher contrast will be really amazing. So I really had not anticipated this is where I would end up. So that's kind of fun. Now remember, Kendall Taylor, who is one of the ambassadors for Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, is doing a video on his new YouTube channel for each of the blocks. So he's making the block, giving you some tips, and he's actually sewing it. So if you enjoy that, be sure you go to Kendall's site. It is listed below and under my video at my website. All right, so I do have one other little tip for you today, which I'll link. This is linked below and over at my website, because I had a question from one of our group who asked, should I clean the rotary cutter? So hold on one sec. You know, she was using a rotary cutter, and I don't really have much in there right now, but there was lint and stuff in her rotary cutter. And she's like, am I doing something wrong? Should I clean that? I'm like, oh yeah, you should clean it. Your rotary cutters not only need the lint cleaned here so that they aren't bunching up, you're not getting lint underneath the blade to, you know, hinder your cutting, but when you take the blade off, there's all kinds of gunk that can get into the crevices that are in here. You can see these parts here. When you take the blade off, they can have a whole lot of lint, and I have a whole tutorial on this. So I've linked below. There's a picture of the linty stuff that you don't really want in there, because it will sort of drag and keep you from using your rotary cutter well. I think every day of the year there are foods to be celebrated, and today is one of my favorites and one of Greg's favorites. So it's onion ring day, which I love onion rings, and my favorite fast food place got rid of their onion rings, which is Popeyes. I was like, oh no, they were my favorite. So if you have a favorite place with onion rings, let me know. And then Greg's, it loves eclairs, and it's eclair day, and I thought the grocery store had these, so I went over, took a quick run over there, and they did. So these are a surprise for him. He doesn't know about it, but he'll be like, yum. They're little ones, so they're kind of nice. I want to give you an update on the cross stitch for my flea market flowers. So I have that center panel done, and I had to decide which of the sides to do. Now the pattern goes past the fold, so I was thinking, you know, I think I'd like to get it actually is a fold in part of it. So that means I can't kind of flip it like this to work on the chart in my book holder. I have to, you know, have it open. So I thought, okay, let's do the side that's on the fold, that's parts on the fold. That way that's done for this year. And my goal is to, for the second half of the year, get both of these done. So that means 3 months for this, 3 months for this. This is all I've done for June so far. So I need to up my game. I need to work a little bit faster. I'm doing the biggest flower first, and then the rest of them are about equal size. I might do some of the bigger chunks. If I get done sooner, that's great. But I'm also going to try to do some of the Boo Crew stitchery for that quilt sew along. There's also stitchery sew along, and same for Christmas time. Speaking of Christmas time, there is a little packet you can get of the threads if you want to do that, and the super cute, look how cute that is. So I'm going to do a little giveaway. I'm going to give these away, and a couple other things I'm going to show you. Yeah. Because that's fun. And so it'll be a little cross stitch giveaway over at my website. So you have to go to my website to enter, and I'm going to tell you what to say over at my website. So that's where you'll find it. So before I show you some more patterns that are Fat Quarter Shop patterns, I wanted to show you these two needle minders. There's the bee. Oh, so cute. I love the bee. But the coffee shop, Bev has done it again. See the coffee shop? She has a bunch of these little houses. They come as a pull. Some of them are a pull and a needle minder. But the coffee shop, have to have the coffee shop. So this one, Laura Half Pint, you need to have this one too. Okay, so our ambassador, Barbara, Life's So Crazy on the chat, is making this one. Isn't it gorgeous? Hers is so beautiful. So maybe she will share it again in the community, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. But this and these are in the giveaway, so that you'll get these in time to do the cross stitch. But I'm also going to go through and find a couple other goodies and add to that. It'll be a mystery to whoever wins. So here's some other cross stitches that came in. These little ones are super cute because you can do a bunch of them together, or make little minis, little mini pin cushions, or little mini door hangers or something. So these are super cute. Now I love the summer one. Hello, 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 summer. Yesterday was the first day of summer. Isn't that cute with the popsicles? Love the popsicles. So there's a fall one with the acorn. Now any of these I always think, oh, they'd be so cute on a pillow. So that's how I think about cross stitch too. Now the two Christmas ones, I love the vintagey Santa. He is so darling. Santa baby, Santa baby. And then the last one, so sleigh ride. Super cute. I think this one is nice and simple. So if you haven't done cross stitch in a long time, I think this would be a great one to start with. Okay, so in the giveaway will be these two things, and this, and then some other goodies I'm going to go through and put in the bag. So you will want to be in on that. I'm going to throw in a cloth too. So one of the Ada cloths, 14 count that I have. So I'll put that in there as well. All right. Just wanted to give you a cross stitch update. Now I did not get these done yet. I did not cut the stuff yet. So today, that is what I'm going to do, is get that cut. And you are going to make your hiking block and tell me a hiking story. So hiking, you know, if you didn't have summer camp, just tell me a different hiking story. See, some of these themes can go for something besides exactly summer camp, so I'd like you to make it your own. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.